Blake Lively is now being exposed for always being a bully, even long before the It Ends With Us drama, and it's not looking so good. One of the things that has stood out the most since the Blake Lively drama started is that she likes to joke casually at the implication of something significant. She did it many times before, especially when she had an opinion about one of her supporters' relationships.
Can you say hi to Stephanie? It's my girlfriend.
Hi, Stephanie.
Thank you
You
so
should leave him.
Telling someone to leave their boyfriend as a joke came out of nowhere and could come up as being inappropriate to people. It's super apparent that Blake is disconnected from the people, and even when someone offered her a friendship bracelet during the premiere of It Ends With Us in London, the actress declined it.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That's so sweet. I'm gonna put it here because it doesn't go with my outfit, but I will wear it later.
In her defense, it doesn't match her dress, even though her earrings match the bracelet, and her co-star, who portrays young Lily, Isabella Ferrer, gladly accepted the bracelet without thinking twice about it. However, that event only got worse for Blake as she was captured displaying even more rudeness. The people were pleased to see the actress and were excited to see her turn toward them, only to tell them to keep quiet. But it gets much worse than this. Blake Lively was a beloved actress, especially from her time in Gossip Girl, and many people are wondering why she's getting so much hate now just because of her recent mistakes on the It Ends With Us promotional tour. But the fun fact is Blake has always had this side to her, as you won't believe what she once called her Gossip Girl co-stars.
Chuck has a matching pet monkey with coordinating outfits, and I was like, I would love to be part of the show, but I can't act with a monkey. And then I got a few of them.
You got a few of them.
Come on, it was a joke.
That's right, monkeys, and she has always been getting away with it until It Ends With Us, which isn't a comedy theme. Looking to the past to how Blake relates with her co-stars, Brandon Sklenar was too checked out even to have anything to say in this interview.
What made it so easy to fall in love on screen?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, we didn't really talk about it.
You could tell her.
I mean, I could tell you it's...
You could say like really nice things.
I'm just
about
a
me.
really good actor, you know?
But as usual, Blake pushed him into speaking about it like she was fishing for compliments. However, the most brutal thing happened after Brandon said it was super challenging and not a single thing about falling in love with in the movie. Also, how Blake treats interviewers, which we've seen in footage from 2016, has shown that she's challenging to work with.
It was just a conversation starter. You know, she was sitting there. I think she was probably 8 months pregnant. She had it wasn't a small bump even. It was quite big.
The journalist, Kirsty, mentioned that she had been too embarrassed by the interview tape for so long, and she decided to post it so people could learn, even though she had little to no idea there was already a controversy about the actress trending. However, it appears as though Blake dislikes being congratulated on her bump, despite announcing her pregnancy because she didn't take it well the next time it happened again.
And you have a baby on the way. Congratulations.
What makes you say that?
The shark told me.
You know you don't ever say that to a woman.
However, when the topic doesn't concern bumps, Blake still doesn't have the best words for her interviewers.
8 years.
I probably have diapers in the car. Honestly, I have
That
so
would
many
help.
kids that I could just give you some of those.
Thank you.
The diapers, not the kids.
That's the most humiliating thing to say to someone suffering from lactose intolerance. As the conversation continued, the interviewer revealed she had to ask someone to get her tablets and toothbrushes, and Blake also gave a spin on that.
God,
But we'll get through
toothbrushes. I have so many questions.
Oh, just,
Toothbrushes for gastrointestinal?
Yeah, I guess which way it kind of, if you're
But
maybe
where does the toothbrush go?
Well, if I'm...
Oh, if it goes up.
A joke in such an uncomfortable situation might not be that bad, but it shows that some subjects shouldn't be taken lightly, as some people might get offended by it. In another interview, Blake was mad that the interviewer didn't get her a present.
Tell me the impetus of why you didn't bring the present.
I wasn't sure what you'd be craving. What are you
No,
craving?
not about craving. I'm a normal human being. I eat food. I like food.
But that quickly took a turn, with the man assuming that getting her present could depend on her cravings since she was pregnant then. And Blake put an immediate stop to that right in that moment.
What do you love?
What do I
What do you
like?
like?
I like cookies.
You like
I
cookies from where?
pizza.
What's your favorite cookie?
My favorite cookie would be my mom's cookies, actually.
So next time, I want your mom's cookies.
However, the actress minimized what women experience during pregnancy regarding cravings and special attention in another interview.
Oh, she's just taking advantage.
Is she?
Totally.
Oh, please say
It's not necessary.
Please, tell her.
You can exploit it if you want. Cravings, nah.
No,
No, we just lie.
you're good. You just.
It's the perfect way to get what you want all
Is
the
that-
time. If you want chocolate ice cream at midnight, you have a craving.
You're busting out pregnant women everywhere.
No, I'm teasing.
Every woman has a different body needs and hormonal changes when pregnant, and Blake revealing it's just for attention and taking advantage doesn't sound right. As a celebrity who gets listened to, playing around with such a statement is risky, and many other women with those experiences wouldn't appreciate it. When the actress isn't forming facts based on her opinions, she's joining the train of people to jump on trends. So whatever Blake is experiencing with the media right now, she has done it to other people in the past. During the drama about the royal family, where people were worried about Kate Middleton, a picture was released to show she was okay with her kids on Mother's Day. However, many image experts concluded that the picture was photoshopped. Blake also joined in on the drama. The actress posted a photoshopped image of herself to promote her cocktail line, Betty Booze. But when it was revealed that the princess had been sick, Blake felt remorseful and apologized. Speaking about cocktails, the actress has also gotten into trouble with people over her alcoholic beverage company.
I am the in-house mixologist in my family. I don't drink.
Despite enjoying being a mixologist and even going as far as opening her own company, people have been divided over the fact that she sells something she doesn't drink. Many people find this a very annoying thing to do and call it a cash grab, because even in her official launch post on Instagram for the brand, she still maintained that drinking isn't her thing. So it appears Blake's marketing strategies have a huge gap, which is why the PR for her recent movie has somehow backfired. One of the reasons people think Blake doesn't take essential subjects seriously is her privileged background. And the crazy thing is that it is very much accurate.
My parents had paid the show choir director to put me in the choir because I can't sing or dance to save my life.
But you were lead in that choir,
I went in there, I was like...
Getting to be a lead singer after her parents paid off the director, among other better talents who could have gotten the opportunity, is crazy. And being so proud of it shows Blake doesn't understand the impact of these statements on people who have been cheated out of great opportunities in life. When she isn't happily telling on herself, the actress gets triggered by answering questions about her career even before the question is asked.
What does
5
that
years
mean?
Well, in terms of trying, I mean, you apparently are not going to sing if you didn't think you can sing.
I sang
but,
in this movie.
Well,
Did you
yeah.
see the movie?
I did see the movie. But I mean,
We're going to give you a pop quiz
there
at the
can be a
end.
problem.
This interview from 2017 is another example of how Blake can sometimes portray a mean girl's energy in public. With some of the footage seen so far, you'd have realized Blake speaks outrightly to make a funny statement, no matter how outrageous it might be. And she confirms this as well.
Something that I still use on my day-to-day life every moment. I mean, improvisation is something that just when my husband and I are having a conversation trying to make each other laugh.
Shockingly, Blake improvises even in her everyday regular conversations, which she mostly has with her husband, Ryan Reynolds. So it's wild that people interacting with her will also get a share of that. Since Blake has admitted to improvising in her everyday conversations, which could serve as the excuse for why she makes inconvenient jokes, it still doesn't change the fact that the actress makes some other harsh decisions intentionally. Blake has knowingly associated with scandalous individuals or companies without regard for those on the other side of the fence. As someone very vocal in supporting children's safety from dangerous people, it was weird to see her rocking the famous clothing brand after the pictures they shared with children to promote their brand. Also, in another instance during which heavy allegations were levied against Woody Allen, Blake said, "It's amazing what Woody has written for women." But that's not the most crazy part, as Blake revealed that she hasn't read about the controversial news and Woody's personal life. Then she added, "It's dangerous to factor in things you don't know anything about. I could only know my experience, and my experience with Woody is he's empowering to women." Although Woody has continued to maintain his innocence and has never been convicted of the charges, it's best to always listen to more than one side of the story before taking a side. That's to say, Blake has done something similar with Harvey Weinstein in the past. Before the film mogul, Harvey was sentenced to prison for his crimes on a long list of women, including Angelina Jolie and Cara Delevingne. Blake still made sure to talk about her view of the convicted offender. She said, "That was never my experience with Harvey in any way whatsoever. I never heard anything specific, but it's devastating to hear." She continued by saying people should be listened to and trusted when they share stories like this, but she didn't even bother to read up on the alleged stories behind Woody Allen's controversies. Another instance where Blake Lively has stepped on people's toes is when she tries to fix people up in public. While this looks like someone who genuinely cares for others by trying to rearrange whatever may have gone wrong with their outfits, some people think it's a front, as it could also mean she's doing that because she believes they are being a mess. She also tried something similar with Leighton Meester. However, psychologists have called Blake a crown straightener for this act of service.
Someone on social media is calling you a crown straightener. I said, what's that? She said, a woman who goes around straightening other women's crowns. And I was just like, oh, it was just like the best compliment I've ever been given.
Despite Blake's absolute joy in that compliment, most people aren't happy with it and have called her a limelight stealer instead. And with all the resurfacing footage of Blake being rude, it's unsurprising that this will be people's conclusion. It ends with us. Controversy has started stringing other previous ones along, like in what happened on the set of Gossip Girl. But the actress also had problems filming with Ben Affleck while shooting The Town. In one of the movie's scenes, they had a bed scene, which Blake mentioned was very awkward for her to film. In an interview, Ben commented on Blake's performance, saying she was comfortable and more mature than others in the room. Blake replied that no one ever treated her like a child in her family, and that the spicy scene was awkward, as it was her first day on that set. However, it appears that history is repeating itself, as the actress has been reported to have claimed that Justin Baldoni made her feel uncomfortable on set while filming a kissing scene. In addition, Blake felt body shamed after Justin asked about her weight because of his back problems, since he would be lifting her into the air on set. With how Blake is famously known for allegedly having issues with her co-stars, it's not surprising that they sometimes get uncomfortable when she's talking in interviews.
No, you'd be surprised how much hasn't happened. You know, at the end of the first season, I was like, okay, well, what happens now? But we have a few more characters already in the beginning of the first season that come in and mess up our lives even more. We start in the Hamptons, which is a staple of New York socialites that you haven't yet seen. And, you know, we all kind of dated each other, so we have to date more people.
It's funny how America Ferrera kept rolling her eyes at Blake and ended up laughing out loud in the end, and it goes to show that a lot of drama does happen behind the scenes, and her co-stars, even in this recent movie, have had enough.
To make a movie that, like, about the female emotion, and it's just like hysterical women. And I was like, no, like, women also want to listen to Tom York.
Even Brandon couldn't believe his ears when Blake was asked an essential question regarding DV.
This movie is going to affect people, and they're going to want to tell you about their lives. What's the best way for them to be able to talk to you about this?
Like asking for like my address or my phone number or like my location share. Or I could just location share you and then we could...
This particular footage is one of the reasons people are mad at Blake. Why was she joking when she should have been talking about significant helplines that could help victims? According to a body language reader, Blake wasn't attentive to the question, but was looking for a joke. It's also apparent the topic made her uncomfortable, so she was more focused on being funny. She also didn't notice people around her weren't pleased, which body experts judged as unaware. Even if the actress means well, talking too much about irrelevant issues could be rude, and she spoke about many unnecessary things during her It Ends With Us tour.
So sorry that we're late. I'm late because I lost my mom. She was supposed to be in Boston and she's in Barcelona. I would say understandable mistake, but not understandable. Unclear how my mother's in Boston. So if anybody watching is in Barcelona and can return my mom to me, the good news is she also lost her phone.
It's weird how she started by saying she lost her mom to make a funny point. During her Gossip Girl era, Blake happily discussed what stories ended up in gossip magazines and uttered a slur.
Read the gossip magazines and everybody is dating everyone, everybody hates everyone, everybody's like had tons of plastic surgery and we're actually men and trannies.
Although the actress said the word many many years ago when it wasn't known as offensive, the footage being circulated due to her recent actions is not settling well with many people. Interestingly, many other annoying things happened on the set of Gossip Girl, and one of the PAs who worked on the project at the time mentioned that Blake was always intentionally late to the set for up to 3 to 4 hours. According to the former PA, it's something that actors like to do so they wouldn't be the first to be on set, which usually delays a lot. Another crazy drama from Gossip Girl involves Armie Hammer being fired from the series, which is insane because Armie himself isn't reliable and has been caught in some controversies too.
Literally, you said, get me out of this.
It was also like, get him out of here. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it just literally was that. Whose love interest were you?
I was Blake Lively's love interest.
You were?
Yeah.
Okay, well then.
Sounds like she was the problem.
It sure does, Chelsea.
It's super weird if Armie can say someone is problematic. Amidst this drama, we saw that Blake wasn't too kind to the interviewer, Kirsty, who congratulated her on her little bump.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
You've got two nice ones.
Kirsty has also revealed that she has infertility problems, which Blake wasn't aware of, but goes to show the reason why such things shouldn't be said to people. Interestingly, the interviewer Kirsty got to talk to Blake Lively again, but this time with Anna Kendrick in attendance. It was a brutal one, but with Blake on the receiving end at this time.
And I constantly have to call Blake and be like, it's okay, you're good at giving interviews, I promise you.
But that didn't end without Blake calling Anna out.
Well, I mean, I'm the reason she gets out of bed in the morning.
And Anna's just an egomaniac, as you can see.
Blake's attitude during interviews has made many people suggest that the actress take her media training seriously rather than improvising and speaking out of turn.
Why is Deadpool Wolverine sold out? I'm sorry, I got distracted back there. I feel offended, but we're not out yet. I'm happy about that. No, I didn't even answer it. Sorry, it's like flashing sold out.
From her wedding ceremony, which happened on a plantation and angered many people even though she and her husband later apologized, body experts have also analyzed Blake's body language.
Lily Bloom is, oh, look at me in flowers, Lily Bloom. It's neoprene. They just like go deep sea diving in it.
Judging by how she doesn't engage interviewers and moves away to talk about random stuff, her attitude when she stops to admire her floral dress has been interpreted to mean that she's not present but wants to take control of the conversation.